All right, another snowy ride to work. Using electric bike. Looks like we got maybe 10 centimeters already. Got my phone. That's not the end of the world. Yeah, so if you saw my last video, snowy ride home, that snowstorm started during work and ended completely during work. Ended up being around 9-10 inches, and this bike made it ludicrous amounts of fun. So this is a 36 volt 17.5 amp hour bike with a 500 watt motor. So you really notice the 36 volt part. It doesn't have like the instantaneous, the grunt, the torque that air voltage bike will get you, but once this thing gets going, yeah, it still hums along quite good. But if I was to get another electric fat bike, and the reason I bought this thing is for days like today, definitely get 48 volt. So lots of videos on YouTube these days about electric bikes, and one of the questions that gets asked is, do e-bikes keep you fit? Is e-bikes exercise? I would say not really. A few weeks ago I rode e-bike to work all week, and then a day or two the following week, and the amount of fitness I lost was substantial, because everywhere where you're riding a bike where you gain fitness, that's where e-bike helps you the most. So you lose out on that fitness gain, at least I would say strength gain, right? Since pedaling a bike definitely has a strength training element. So anytime you slow down, or maybe you ease off to pedal around a corner, and then you get back on the power to get back up to your cruising speed, an e-bike does all that work for you. Or say, like to specifically use my ride home from work, it's got maybe 100 meters of vertical on the way home. And then there's a couple gradual hills that have a couple steeper sections, and those slightly steeper bits, you know, that 10-15 seconds of pedaling harder on those steeper bits is where you would gain strength. But e-bike does all that work for you. That's where it helps you the most. So I definitely noticed after, you know, a week and a few days of riding this thing that I had lost fitness. I went and then rode a human-powered bike to work, and it felt horrible. So much fitness was lost, so much strength was lost. It's like, holy shit. I will definitely lose fitness today riding this thing. You know, it just keeps your general fitness, like, you know, I could add my average heart rate riding this thing would be around 120 beats a minute, which is like the low end of my endurance zone. You know, maybe if you're doing like a really long ride, I don't think this thing has the range to do that. You definitely work on your endurance with this thing as long as you have the battery life. Alright. Looks like we'll have a fair bit of completely untracked snow to ride through. We get first tracks through here, and yes we do. Look at that, no one's been through here. Absolutely gorgeous. Yeah, so the main thing with the electric fat bike in the snow is that you can run lower pressure than you would want to on a human powered bike. Electric bikes, fat bikes can do, or fat bikes can do amazing things in the snow if you air down the tires. But the rolling resistance becomes so high that it's not worth it. You'll just do it for 30 seconds, a minute, and be like, where's my bike pump? But an electric fat bike, you can air down your tires to extreme levels, and electric motor is there to fill that rolling resistance gap, which is what happened on my last video. That was like 9-10 inches of snow, and aired down the tires, and it was freaking amazing. Although, yeah, it did slow this bike down, right? There's a couple of times I put it into level 5, the top resist, and this thing is de-restricted. It would, level 5, it would go almost 40 kilometers an hour, and it had trouble going past 25. But that was also, I had lost a few bars of battery. I mean, the snow definitely eats your battery. We've already lost a bar right now, where we've been going for maybe 11-12 minutes. We've already lost one bar. So basically, riding to and from work at these speeds, I wouldn't have enough battery to get home. I'd have to recharge this at work. Right. We hit curb there. Hopefully we don't pinch flat. Right, so now we're on the university property. No first tracks for us because of the insane amount of international students. So my last video, you know, considering all that snow happened during the workday, when I get to sections of unplowed snow, the amount of foot traffic that had already gone through it is amazing, especially on our college property. And that's because there's literally thousands of international students here. We've used 2 bars of battery. This is a 5-bar indicator. And we are going mostly downhill right now. Jeez, they've already... Okay, maybe they haven't. Thought they had plowed this already, but not yet. We get first tracks through here. Strong running community in this city, so lots of people out running this time of the day. Usually this section will be chewed up this early in the morning by the runners. We get beautiful first tracks. Garmin's telling me there's a sharp bend coming up on this track. I didn't turn that feature on, but that's kind of cool. riding through the untracked part instead of riding in the tire tracks, because it's actually, if it's just fresh soft snow, it's actually easier to control the bike. Sometimes when you're riding tire tracks, it becomes more difficult to control the bike. Although this looks like it was driven through as it was snowing, because there's tire tracks beneath some of the fresh snow here, and yes, the bicycle is moving around underneath me a bit more because of that. All right, first tracks through this property as well. The noise of studded tires. So this is a cheap e-bike with just a cadence sensor, but compared to my GoTrax, this thing is way more responsive. So let's see here. So we cut out the motor. So yeah, very quickly the motor kicks in when you start pedaling. Much less annoying. In fact, it's takes a little bit to get used to, because I'm used to that GoTrax and the delay. This kicks in so much faster. I'm like, whoa! And we've had lots of completely untracked powder snow for ourselves this morning. This is the reality matching the fantasy when you get an e-bike. This is what you think, oh, I gotta ride it through fresh untracked snow all the time. But no, it's actually pretty rare. Or at least an amount of snow that you can ride through. It doesn't slow you down to a crawl. Whoa, look at that. Tire somebody else's tire track, so. The other thing is, even a tire track like that reduces our rolling resistance. Riding through it is literally saving battery energy. This guy's having trouble. You can see how he's having trouble going in a straight line. He's kind of swerving this way, that way a little bit. It's because his tire is sinking and cutting into the snow, and it's making him lose a little bit of control. That's what a fat bike doesn't do when you have the right tire pressure. It tracks straight, true, beautifully. Lots of guys will say, hey, you don't need a fat bike to ride in the snow. And yeah, don't. Like, this guy doesn't, but Fat bike is so much more controllable. Track straight and true. Why would you want to feel like you're out of control a large percentage of the time? Just watch cyclocross races where they're using 33mm tires, and when they go through mud or sand, how they're not really in control of what the bike's doing. They just keep the power going and hope they clear the section. That's what riding narrower tires in snow is like once you have a decent accumulation, or once it's been allowed to compact under its own weight. Okay, we're now down to 2 bars on the battery, and we've been out for 25 minutes. This bike also sits for long periods of time not being ridden, because I bought it specifically for days like today, snowstorm days. So there can be some battery degradation issues because of that. So you say, why should I e-bike even more? Because, like I said at the beginning of this ride, you lose so much fitness. Fresh tracks for this section too. Holy shamoy. Right tight corner. Oh, we lost our first tracks. So this section gets used for dog walking in the morning. Oh, back to untracked snow. The other nice thing about untracked snow is your bike becomes almost silent. Passing! If we didn't have an electric motor, which you can hear buzzing, the bike would be almost silent. So it looks like the city was already out this morning, and then this got snowed on. This isn't the same amount of snow we had on the other side of town. There's much more. So temperature minus 6.6. Temperature is supposed to drop today. This afternoon it's supposed to drop to minus 13, minus 14. this temperature things might get slushy. As it cools off, we'll avoid any slushy stuff on the busy streets. And then the temperature's supposed to drop again. The next 2 weeks are actually supposed to be surprisingly cold. We're approaching March. I think things will start warming up, but no, we're gonna have another couple weeks of winter before we get any spring-like conditions. Whew. Bloody good time. This ride won't even take 40 minutes. If we're lucky, it'll be 40 minutes since we're going so much faster than human power. Our hour speed is like 23 kilometers an hour, which on a human-powered bike on pavement isn't fast, but in these kinds of conditions it feels very fast. So yeah, I started making some YouTube shorts. I kind of hated shorts. I'm surprised how much they get watched. Already have thousands of views. I should be able to make some nice shorts out of some of the footage from today. Yeah, you can use shorts to get you monetized. You need 3 million shorts views in like 3 months. Or there's another tier which I think is 4 million views, 10 million views in 4 months or something like that. So yeah, check out my shorts or don't. I don't really care because for some reason they get watched by other people. All right, so we made it. Let's look at our numbers. Okay, it doesn't want to give me numbers. But I think that took like 37, 38 minutes. Average speed was 23 kilometers an hour. This is what we're riding. It's called the E-Wild, or the E-Wild by Emo. Emo's a Canadian brand. They mainly make like actual electric scooters. Oh, maybe they're getting a little more into e-bikes. Or, you know, they're straight from China stuff. Cookie cutter, they buy them out of a catalog. But I had a previous electric scooter of theirs and it was decent, so I trusted them. It was probably about the cheapest I could find. I didn't want a front suspension. Didn't want to deal with that getting destroyed in the wintertime, so fully rigid. Yeah, it has this controller box in the back, which is kind of ugly, but and it only came, so this is like the bare minimum of a fat bike. So they're just 60 millimeter wide rims with 4-inch tires, which was like the original Surly Pugsley. Yeah, I could probably get a fatter tire up front there, get a 4.6 in there, but in the back I don't know if I could. Yeah, probably could, you know, but I would say sometimes it's actually nice to have the narrower rim and tire in the snow because it takes less energy for the bike to go through it, but you're not going to get the same level of flotation as a wider rim, fatter tire combo. But it seems to be doing the job, and as you can see, it's so much fun. All right, thanks for watching. Bye.